Good afternoon, dear viewers. This is the latest news on Tajikistan TV channel. In studio with me, Nasim Said Ahmad. During a working trip to the cities and districts of the Sogd region in Panjaken, the Prime Minister of the country, Kohira Sulzoda, got acquainted with the construction of various facilities, including a copper processing plant, a dried fruit processing workshop, a refrigeration room, a central hospital, educational institution buildings, the Agency on State Financial Control and the fight against corruption, jubilee objects in the historical and archaeological reserve Sarazm, and the activities of the industrial enterprises. Further details are in the following report. During a working trip to the cities and districts of the Sogd region in Panjaken, the Prime Minister of the country, Kohira Sulzoda, got acquainted with the construction of various facilities, including a copper processing plant, a dried fruit processing workshop, a refrigeration room, a central hospital, educational institution, buildings, and the Agency on the State Financial Control and the fight against corruption, jubilee objects in the historical and archaeological reserve Sarazm, and the activities of industrial enterprises. It should be noted that the Zarafshon copper processing enterprise will be built by the government of the Republic of Tajikistan in cooperation with foreign investors. During his acquaintance with the activities of production enterprises of this industrial region, the Prime Minister of the country instructed the responsible persons to take measures for the earliest possible implementation of the project for the construction of a copper processing enterprise at a high quality level that meets modern requirements. It should be noted that in Panjaken, as part of the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the state independence and the announcement of 2019 to 2021, the construction of 405 objects was planned as the years of development of the village, tourism and folk crafts. Of these, 266 objects were built and commissioned, including 81 in 2018, 161 in 2019 and 24 objects in 6 months of 2020. Construction work continues. Continuing the working trip under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister of the country, Kohira Sulzoda, in the historical and archaeological reserve Sarazm, a meeting of the working headquarters was held to strengthen the work on the creation and improvement and the preparation for the celebration of the 5,500th anniversary of Sarazm. Despite the strict nature of measures to combat COVID-19 infection in the Republic of Tajikistan, there are cases that increase the risk of the spread of the disease. These include the absence in some persons of masks in public places, non-observance of social distance by citizens, as well as non-observance of the requirements of the norms of passenger transportation on public transport. It should be recalled that in accordance with the decision of the Republican Committee for the Prevention of the Spread and Transmission COVID-19 in the Republic of Tajikistan, in order to protect the health of the population, citizens must wear a mask in public places and in transport, refrain from shaking hands and hues, and strictly follow the rules of personal hygiene. Basic personal hygiene is essential to prevent any infectious disease. Despite the fact that COVID-19 virus in the country has declined, in order to prevent the spread and transmission of this infectious disease in the country, all necessary preventive measures are being taken. Additional sanitary and hygienic measures have been introduced in all public institutions. Premises and vessels are regularly treated with antiseptic agents, but nevertheless the main protection is the mandatory observance of the rules of personal and public hygiene. While in public places, keep your distance, wear medical masks and take other preventive measures. Public hygiene is inseparable from personal hygiene because everyone is a part of society. Cleanliness is the guarantee of health. The proverb says so everyone should keep cleanliness around him. Thus, we can all together fight fight any infections. Despite the strict nature of measures to combat coronavirus infection in the Republic of Tajikistan, there are cases that increase the risk of the spread of the disease. These include the absence in some persons of masks in the public places, non-observance of social distance by citizens, as well as non-observance of the requirements of the norms of passenger transportation on public transport. It should be recalled that in accordance with the decision of the Republican Committee for the Prevention of Spread and Transmission COVID-19 in the Republic of Tajikistan, in order to protect the health of the population, citizens must wear a mask in the public places and transport, refrain from shaking hands and hugs, and strictly follow the rules personal hygiene. Recall that recently the President of the Republic of Tajikistan, His Excellency Emomali Rahmon, signed amendments and additions to the Code of Administrative Offences and the Criminal Code of the Republic of Tajikistan, which are aimed at preventing the spread of COVID-19 disease and improving the health of the people. For persons who violate sanitary and hygienic and anti-epidemic rules, including the requirements of quarantine restrictive measures, criminal punishment is provided. The number of electricity consumers in the Republic of Tajikistan has reached more than 1.5 million. The requirements of the time demand that today the citizens should not forget about the high level of the knowledge on the efficient and targeted use of electricity. Experts in the field emphasize that every customer, regardless of the season, must show serious responsibility for the consumption of electricity, which brings economic benefits to the family budget and the state. The next report has more in details. According to experts, the use of energy-saving equipment allows to save up to 5 times more energy. With the growth of the population, the demand for electricity is growing year by year, and its economical use remains a serious problem today. Experts emphasize that if citizens use electricity wisely, it will first bring economic benefits to the budget of each family. In case of improper use of electricity, the family and the state suffer. Citizens should be aware that the targeted use of electricity in the family budget brings economic benefits. In order to achieve these goals, it's necessary to carry out propaganda work among the population at the required level in order to raise public awareness about the efficient use of electricity. Economical use of electricity and timely payment for its use is a sign of cultural and high civic responsibility of every citizen of the country, on which the regular operation of electricity networks depends. Fortunately, today many residents are well aware of the benefits of energy efficiency. It would be beneficial if the population, enterprises, and other service points use energy-saving equipment. The population, enterprises, and other service points use energy-saving equipment and consider the differences to be more profitable and affordable than in previous years. Year by year, the number of enterprises and organizations, residential and service buildings in the country is growing. This will also increase the demand for electricity. Today, customers consider the economical use of electricity as their civic duty. The installation of energy-saving equipment, the use of energy-saving light bulbs, the transition to a single heating service, the elimination of the wasteful energy consumption, and continuous monitoring of electrical equipment will be beneficial in many ways. The relatively low cost of using electricity is one side of the issue, while another advantage of using energy-saving equipment is fire safety at home or at work. Improper use of electricity and its losses are detrimental to the state budget and every household. To the international news, drought has caused serious damage to farmers in Novosibirsk region of the Russian Federation and the northern part of the Philippines. A military helicopter crashed and caught fire. As a result of the accident, there were died 4 people and 1 was injured. About this and other events in the block of foreign news. A state of emergency has been declared in the Novosibirsk region of the Russian Federation due to unbearable heat and drought. No precipitation have been registered in the region for the 5 months. Drought has caused serious damage to farmers. Scientists say that if the unbearable heat and drought do not stop, the drought is likely to be recorded in the Astrakhan, Chelyabinsk, and Omsk regions of the Russian Federation. In the northern part of the Philippines, a military helicopter crashed and caught fire. As a result of the accident, there were died 4 people and 1 was injured. According to the military, the helicopter crashed and caught fire as it was flying with 5 servicemen towards the country's Isabela province. According to preliminary information, the cause of the crash was a technical malfunction. Over the past 24 hours, firefighters in various regions of the Russian Federation managed to extinguish 70 large sources of forest fires. The situation is complicated in the Sverdlovsk region in the Republic of Yakutia of the Russian Federation. Heat and wind are causing the spread of forest fires. Firefighters are working around the clock to put out the blaze. Forest fires have been reported in eastern Greece. The blaze quickly engulfed hundreds of hectares of forest. The heat of the air and the wind caused the flame to spread. According to local authorities, the blaze destroyed several residential buildings and vehicles of firefighters. Rescue workers are evacuating residents and tourists from areas at risk of forest fires. Hundreds of residents were forced to flee their homes due to the situation. Firefighters are using special equipment to put out a wildfire in eastern Greece. So, dear viewers, these were all the news up to this time. Thanks for watching us and stay with Tajikistan Television. Goodbye.